Hey folks, it's Vince the Evil DM, another episode of Railguns and Dragons. I appreciate all the likes and comments and support that everybody have been giving me for this series as we're exploring fantasy Palladium, or just Palladium the role-playing game as it was called originally back in 1983. I'm enjoying this book. My group will be starting up a game of this real soon. It'll be at rollhighordie.com in a few weeks. We'll be playing that, and I will have it on for audio for those that want to listen. If they don't, they don't. But anyway. So we explored the first part of the Men of Arms, and we're going to continue along the path of the Men of Arms. Not man at arms, but as I kept saying before. But we're going to continue along with the Knight. Now, the Knight is basically your typical lieutenant in an army, or maybe a captain in an army, and he is your kind of champion of the army, the one that leads the pack. He has a chivalry code that he does follow if he is good. If he's not, then he goes, well, that doesn't really apply to me. The requirements for a knight are a little bit more difficult to obtain, but not too difficult. I mean, it does require some IQ, some physical strength, some endurance, and a big PP, as my friend Jeff would say. But to qualify is generally pretty easy, and the roles that I've seen so far the players getting, they're able to qualify for most of these classes. The knights get their own hand-to-hand. They start getting a horsemanship skill for knights, which allows them to groom their horse, control their horse, select breeds of horses, be able to tell what type of horse they have and how long the horse has been alive, things like that. Just general care. They also get the ability to use large shields, which I have to say, in Palladium, shields kind of are weird. They provide some bonuses to strike. They provide some bonuses to parry if you're using them, but they don't really provide much protection. Like you'd think in other fantasy games, when you have shields, they add a little bit to your protection. There's no SDC value for it in first edition Palladium. I don't believe there's any in second edition as well, and about all you can use it for is parrying or possibly striking with it and throwing it like you're Captain America. So I've always thought of the knights as like the second level in the armies let's talk about modern day army. A knight would be like a lieutenant or a captain, like I was saying, or an officer in the army. If we flip back to a soldier, I always think of those as the enlisted. Now, if we go over to the Paladin class, this is like the ultimate champion of your army. The generals, the master, the actual knight, so to speak. Both the knight and the paladin can be of noble birth, but the paladin is the champion character, is the one that is sponsored by supposedly a sire or king or a clergy. They're the one running around with the title Sir, while the knight is the one running around wanting to be the paladin. I always thought of these three classes, well, let me get to that in a minute, but the paladin has a little bit higher requirements. IQ of 10, PS of 12, PP of 12, and a PE of 10. They get their own hand-to-hand combat. They only get their own version of horsemanship as well. They get to read or write at a really big bonus. They get to use large shields and lance. And they get their various skills. And they also are the embodiment of all good and have the chivalry code that they follow, just like a knight. But again, a paladin can be evil, as it says right here in the paragraph, and then the code could be, well, didn't really apply to me. So, on that. I don't know why they say they're the embodiment and have the highest values in honor, but yet again they say, you know what? They could be evil if they really, really want to be. So, I don't get that. So either they are the champion of good or they aren't. But I've always thought of the soldier, the knight, and the paladin as something that should have been one class. One class that you work through as a player character, or as a player with your character, to obtain these higher levels. Starting out as a soldier, working your way up to becoming a knight, and then when you finally get sired, or sirred, or whatever title you want to be, you are a paladin, the champion, sir whatever. Always thought these three should be one class that you work towards. I think it'd be an awesome progression for a class in Palladium, but I know they don't do these type of things. But I always thought soldier, knight, paladin, one class, And as you grow up in levels, you can get this and this, and then you become this and this. And instead of having I never understood why exactly they broke it up into 3 until actually going over this again, maybe, recently, thinking, okay, some people just want to skip to the chase and want to be that paladin. Some people want to be that knight, striving to be sired out there, recognized. Some people just want to be a soldier. So I get it. But to me, I always thought the 3 of them should be together. That's just my thoughts on those. The ranger is your typical ranger. A huntsman, a scout. He's able to track. He's able to skin. He's the guy in the woods with the raccoon hat, the tail. He's got the leaf padding on. He's hiding. He's the person, sniping things in there, planting, saving the woods. He is your ranger. He's only allowed to wear, he tends to wear light armor compared to everybody else because of prowl. Remember, when you wear heavy armor, you suffer prowl negatives. So, but you can wear any armor you want. They just recommend that you use light or chainmails for maximum movement. The IQ is 9, which is not too difficult. The PS is 10, and the PE is 13. It's not too difficult to qualify for a ranger. It's one of those basic classes. They don't really get much in the way of anything special. I mean, you get hand-to-hand ranger, which is your own hand-to-hand. Basically, all these men of arms have their own hand-to-hand, and it just basically depends on the class how much you get out of it. Identify tracks, tracking skill. So you want to play a ranger? Great. You're playing a ranger to be the tracker, the hunter. That's why you play a ranger. Other than that, there's no advantage of playing a ranger over one of the other ones. A thief. This is your traditional thief. A rogue. The person that will go in and pick pockets, steal things, open traps, and do everything that a thief would do. Now, they do tell you that a thief cannot be of good alignment. So that does kind of rule the thief class out for a lot of campaigns, especially if you're doing a good campaign. You could be selfish, which is not generally a good alignment for a good group, but it can be in there as far as you won't rob from the party. Ooh, big deal. So, and then it goes on to telling you how you can make a thieves guild, which is a lot of fun in games as a GM to create a thieves guild and just do a structure. So it gives the thief character something to look forward to when growing in levels as you unravel the mysteries of your campaign. This thief can try to seek out a membership in a guild, or he can be part of a guild to start, working his way up the ranks, becoming the head of the guild or the master of the guild, depending on your campaign, how you really want to handle that. There are different services and fees that the guild will have, and you get to buy certain things at a discount through the guild as a thief member of the guild. And then there's some average rates you want to charge in case somebody wants to hire you through the guild, or you just want to just steal from somewhere else, whatever. There is a thief can assassinate as well, but generally they don't. There is a list of charts for assassination and assaults, just like typical common thuggery stuff when the mob would do. It's all listed right here. Not very hard to difficult, not that hard and difficult. Not that difficult to qualify for a thief. A PP of 9. You get your own hand-to-hand. You do get to scale walls. You do get the abilities of picking locks and prowling and the typical thief things that you would see in like Dungeons and Dragons early on in the days with percentages. You get them right off the bat. You get to use poison if you'd like. Obviously, you can't be good if you're going to use poison, but you get these skills. It's a good class. It's a very simple class, something that somebody just wants to play to be a change. They want to be a little bit dirty. They want to be the person that kind of is a scout, sneaks up ahead, looks around. Ooh, found a piece of gold. Oh, found nothing, guys. One of those type of characters. Perfect for a thief character. Finally, we get to an assassin. An assassin. There's not much to say about the assassin. They are the people that you call when you want to get those jobs done right away. The specialist. The guy that basically will go out there and kill for money. The sword for hire. Yeah, they're like mercenaries. Mercenaries will kill for money. But assassins, their specialty is making sure that person is dead. They are not they're not cheap in what they do. They are costly. Their services can be anywhere from smuggling to just basically knifing somebody to death. There are assassin guilds as well, and an assassin cannot be any good alignment as all. They're restricted to evil alignment specifically. So you will not be playing a selfish assassin or even a semi-good assassin. Your assassin will always be evil. They get their own hand-to-hand, just like every other class in the Men of Arms. And their qualifications are an IQ of 9 and 14 PP. Not too difficult to qualify for these classes, but they don't always mix in with your campaign as far as what your vision is for the campaign as a GM. If you don't mind a wide assortment of alignments in your campaign, then there is no reason not to have these classes in here. Like, when I run campaigns, generally I try to stick to having players be goodish. Maybe be a little bit selfish. That's fine. Because when you play role-playing games, generally they're supposed to be a story about good guys saving, or, semi-party good guys saving, either on purpose or accidental. You don't really want a mixed alignment party because there's going to be a lot of conflict. But if you're a group that loves conflict and can handle it in an adult manner, then by all means do that. Running an evil campaign, you could do that as well with all of these classes, because just about every one of them allow you to be some sort of evil with good. Unless there's a class that says you can only be good, which we haven't gotten to anything like that just yet. So that's going to wrap up those for right now. Tell me what you think. I just remember there are some optional classes. I was thinking here a second. I had to hit pause because it just dawned on me. There are some optional classes that you can play here as well, which I've never seen anybody play these classes. There's a peasant farm or stable hand. There's a squire class, and there's a scholar class, and there's also a noble class, and a merchant as well. There is really nothing major about these. They don't get any advantage over any other classes. In fact, they are so easy to qualify that anybody could be them. They're very general classes. I mean, if you want to be the squire, aspiring to be a knight or a mercenary, soldier, knight, paladin, by all means, do that. I mean, I could see someone playing a squire just for role-playing purposes. A scholar, you're not gonna have a lot of fun as a scholar on an adventure out in the wild, because scholars really aren't physical, so to speak. I mean, you could role-play it out. Why not, right? Peasant, farm, or stable hand, they're limited in everything they can do, so I'm not sure that anybody would want to play that. I could see a merchant, yes. He hires the group, and your job as the merchant is to try to buy and sell the most exotic things in the world, and that's your roleplay thing. Go for it. A noble. Now, a noble might kind of be like a... Let me go back to the book here. So a noble might be kind of... It's hard to... He's like a knight, so to speak, but like a lesser form of a knight. Doesn't get the same things as a knight, but he does get a lot of the same things as a knight. So you could be a noble and venture out like one of those nobles that just wants to hide and prove his worth. So that might be something that you could use in a campaign. But other than that, these classes are ones that you wouldn't normally play. By all means, you can. Don't want someone screaming at me saying, I could play that. Go for it. I don't care. It's your game, your experience. Everybody has fun the way they want to. So I'm going to head out. Tell me what you think. We'll come back with another video going on some other classes like Wizard. We're going to do Men of Magic or whatever they call it. We'll do that next. So with that said, I'm going to head out. Keep it original. Keep it old school. Good night, everybody.